Do want to let you know that we got a few things to get to. We've got all things covered as far as weather today. We're going to go through some of the briefings with respect to South Dakota, the Plains, Nebraska. We're not going to really hit hard today too much about Thursday's event, weather event. We're going to really stay pretty well focused on the overnight threat that we are expecting, or late in the day impacts that we're expecting later today in areas of South Dakota. But welcome to the show. Appreciate y'all joining. If you are on TikTok, please be sure to tap that screen. And if you feel the content is relevant for you, I would really appreciate the gifts or even the shares. Share the live and follow if you're not already. We do the daily live updates. Um 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Sometimes we have to wait along for the Storm Prediction Center to get the information loaded for us, but that's a great thing about it. All right, let's go ahead and get to things. But before we do, I want to thank our wonderful sponsors. Here is Mission Nutrition, Fit Revolution, Refuel, all three located in Sioux Falls, South Dakota area. So if you are in need of some energy, or if you need a little pick-me-up as far as nutrition and get back on track, they can certainly help you with that. Loaded bomb energy bombs, and it's not the energy bombs that will make you crash. It's the ones that'll just keep on allowing you to have focus and alertness. I know that's one thing that I love to have, so hope you'll stop by one of them as well. Prairie Pro General Contractors, if you need a new roof or siding after the storms, I mean, South Dakota, you're going to have some wind, lots of wind, and even Nebraska, you may end up having some hail. That's likely, and a few twisters are possible in the Broken Bow and North Platte, Nebraska area. So just be aware. Prairie Pro General Contractors can take care of you. Call them for a free estimate, 605-880-7776. All right, we're going to skip over the 7-day forecast. We've got too much to get to. The thing I want to point out, there it is, the bullseye, 5% risk for areas of Broken Bow, North Platte, Lexington, Nebraska. That's where my friends PA Storm Trackers, the Quack group, will be down there today, and I may end up going live later today after 6 o'clock. I'm not real sure. We just have to see how things play out. My full-time job may need me, but we'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, thank you, Ellie Mae, for being here. I appreciate it. So here's the outlook. As you can see to my right, you'll see today's outlook. Slight risk. There's marginal risk over in areas in North Carolina, Virginia, some of the upper Tennessee Valley area. And then tomorrow, that switches over to more of the upper Midwest area, an large enhanced risk over areas of Wisconsin, Illinois. Chicago is going to be under the gun. Uh, and then that shifts even further to the south and east as we get into Ohio River Valley and Tennessee Valley for day 3. And I don't have it on here, but the PA Storm Trackers group is on its way, obviously right now, to areas of Nebraska to cover that, as well as South Dakota, the storms for today. But they are expecting, and we are expecting, to have some things ramp up this weekend potentially for areas of Oklahoma as well as Texas. So we'll be covering that as well live. So lots to get to, lots of severe weather ramping up. Again, we're looking at the tornado risk for areas of South Dakota. The green is the 2% risk. The 5% risk would be the Broken Bow, Lexington, North Platte, Nebraska area. Let's take a look at that hail factor. Again, please, if you're not already following, go ahead and do a follow. We'll get to some of the other things here as quickly as we possibly can. Slight risk is a large swath area all the way up into areas of Bismarck, Carrington, North Dakota, and even as far down into Nebraska as McCook area of the southern or southwest portion of Nebraska. That marginal risk is the green, and that extends all the way over to areas like Austin, Minnesota, or close to it anyways, Albert Lea, just to the west of Albert Lea. We are expecting storms to develop later today, as you can see, and if you're in the Sioux Falls area, plenty of sunny skies. There's really not a whole lot going on as far as capping going on. So we'll just need the other elements. And what are those? Well, we're going to need a lift mechanism. We're also going to need a number of the energy. Let's take a look at the energy. Most unstable cape. We'll shut this off here real quick. But before I do, I want to show you the wind factor. That's the main threat in South Dakota. The main threat is wind. We do have that 2% low risk of tornadoes, spin ups in areas of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a number of areas in the eastern half and central portion of South Dakota. But the main threat is going to be down into areas of Nebraska, the higher threat. The wind threat is all of this right here, this yellow swath. The brown is a little bit less of a risk, but the yellow is kind of your danger zone for today for wind. And areas of concern for hail, let me go ahead and take the most unstable cape off so it's not messing with too much here. All right. So we do have the most significant hail threat is down in Nebraska. And then still quite a big threat, 15%, but not a significant threat. The significant severe level threat is in this hatched area, Broken Bow, North Platte, Lexington, Kearney, even areas of Columbus, St. Paul, Grand Island, Nebraska, all of that. We'll get to the timing here. For North Nebraska, just 45, south of South Dakota, what is it looking for tonight? Mrs. Giggle Queen, certainly. We'll get to that here. Let me go ahead and show you NAM 3K. This was updated at 2 a.m. So just be aware this is a little past, and we'll get to an HRRR weather model. That's going to be a little bit better because that's a more short-range weather model. So the timing. For northeast Nebraska, let me go ahead and take a look here. The timing, it's going to be late according to this model, but I'm going to take a look at HRRR, so don't just discount this right now. According to NAM 3K weather model, areas, if you're like in the Pierce, Hardington area, Yankton area, that would be likely to see some significant wind threat after midnight tonight. Again, this is just based on one weather model. You're welcome. And let's go ahead and take a look at HRRR weather model here real quick. Or Nebraska. What about Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania, we're not expecting anything huge today. The general thunderstorms is outlined in today's SPC severe weather outlook right over here. So not expecting anything significant at all there today. Tomorrow, things get a little bit more ramped up into PA. So just be mindful. We'll try to do our best to have an update at 8 a.m. tomorrow. However, we may have late time coverage tonight and into tomorrow morning covering things. Indiana area, that's going to be for tomorrow. So we'll get to all those as quick as we possibly can. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the timing for storms based on HRRR weather model and see what we could end up having here based on this weather model. So again, this shows Pierre, central part of South Dakota, south central part of South Dakota around 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And we're focusing on South Dakota today right now because this is where some of the significant severe weather is expected. And again, that forms a line or MCS of storms all along Winter, Chamberlain. This will be some major wind bags going on Valentine, Nebraska, probably some hail with some of these deeper shades of colors right here west or southwest of Wood Lake, Nebraska, right along that whole South Dakota-Nebraska border. And then it becomes like torrential rain. We'll take a look at some of the rain factors and see what the 24-hour totals are potentially going to be. But again, main threat here in and around the Sioux Falls and South Dakota area is going to be primary threat of wind as well as hail. Up to golf ball size hail is possible. Let me go back to a 11Z update here. And Texas 2 fan for life. I hope I answered your question with regards to Pennsylvania. AD Adira Hanna about Indiana. Hope I answered your question with regards to Indiana. We're going to go ahead and get to HRRR last update here. 1 second. Switch that. 1 second here, folks. Appreciate it. All right, so let's move things along. Again, this is based on the 11Z update. This was a previous update. You're welcome. You're welcome. So this goes out to midnight. So it looks like Sioux Falls area, according to this weather model, sometime after midnight, overnight into tomorrow, storms likely to impact. Hey, Tufts Weather. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Welcome back, man. Appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few other factors here for total precip. What are we expecting? Let me shut off the risks for hail for today. And we'll do a full scan here. So between now and midnight, this is what some areas could end up having for rainfall totals. Okay, as you can see, much of area of Nebraska, South Dakota border, 3 inches possible, maybe even 4 inches. These areas here north of Rosebud as well as south of Murdo, 2.5 is likely. Tufts Weather, you're 7 miles out of the 5% risk. Well, if you're 7 miles out of the 5% risk, then that's close enough to a 5% risk that I would say. All right. And are you referring to for Thursday, I'm assuming? Columbus, Ohio on Saturday, I'm not able to get to that. Today there's so much severe weather that's expected in Nebraska. I'm not able to really go through a whole lot of extended outlooks. So I'll take a look at that tomorrow. We're going to be very, very busy late tonight, probably, and tomorrow with severe weather coverage. So thanks, Andrea 99005 for the follow. Appreciate it. If you have not followed already, make sure that you do. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a few other factors that we want to look at. Supercell composite? No, we'll take a look at the significant tornado parameters. These are numbers that help us understand where the greatest potential is for some spin-ups, some tornadoes, and the timing of that. Darker shade of colors, that means likely we have some risk right here. That's a pretty significant tornado parameter number along Highway 20 there. So anybody that's over by the O'Neill area today, or tonight, I should say, after 7 o'clock. Mrs. Giggle Queen, no, we're not expecting it to go into the weekend as well. It could ramp up. Let's take a look at day 4, 5, 6. There we go. Day 5 and 6. So the 19th and the 20th. Unless this shifts further north for the 19th and the 20th time frame. I mean, that's not covering the weekend, but it's covering next week. Unless that shifts farther north, I don't expect to see Nebraska in anything more than maybe a marginal risk for Monday and Tuesday, but the weekend you should be okay. Need to travel from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Whose mother? Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Jeremy Loam, what do you think for weather for Aberdeen, South Dakota, and Watertown for Thursday and Friday? Thursday early morning hours are going to be pretty significant. The winds, let me kind of show you that with HRRR here. Actually, I'll go back to NAM, see if HRRR has got farther out with this one. Might be a little tough to see that. As you can see, kind of a curvature a little bit, but this is having a little bit of a tough time showing it. Main threat there is going to be for Aberdeen would probably be some hail, likely more so of the wind risk the farther north you go. Bradley A10, Northern Illinois, Thursday night. Is there a good chance for tornadoes? Yes. Yes, there is definitely a good chance. Stay weather aware. Texas 2 fan for life. Marginal risk, really bad. Marginal risk isn't necessarily bad. Slight risk would, so marginal would be a 1 out of 5. Slight risk would be a 2 out of 5 on the scale of, severity. 5 would be high, and that would be the highest risk possible. Anything severe for North Carolina today? There's marginal risk for North Carolina today. The main impacts for there today would be on the minimally severe category. And the timing for North Carolina, Greensboro area would be sometime in the afternoon hours. Could have a few isolated areas of concern here with hail, Linden Oaks, Durham, some of those areas, moving all the way up into southwest of Richmond area. Hope that helps you, Flatheads. And let's see if we got everybody else. Are you in any of the risks? South Dakota is in the risks. Yes, we are definitely in the risks. Schaumburg, Illinois. We'll be doing live continuous coverage on our Facebook and YouTube channels tomorrow. 605 Chaser will be having a live storm chaser on with us, covering some of that Illinois and Wisconsin crazy weather that is for tomorrow. So just be aware, tune into that. Again, that'll be only on our Facebook and YouTube channels because we cannot do live in the field. Well, we can do live in the field storm chasing, but it is on TikTok, but it is very risky because you run the risk of being shut down because it's deemed dangerous, even though the storm chasers we have are professionals. They know what they're doing. Arkansas, Little Rock, your area would be more of a concern for day 3, which ends up being your Friday. So stay weather aware for Friday. How's the storm moving on the radar from Thursday to Friday? Jordan? Great question. I'll have to go to the NAM 12 for that, which of course this was updated at 2 a.m. So this is the latest that I can give you. The weather models update when they update, and the medium range models, they are not updated as often as the short range models, nor should they. According to this scan, this is showing more of a northeasterly, if you could kind of see that over the Wisconsin area. And the best way probably to show this is going to be taking a look at 500 millibar wind. Let me shut these risks off here. Trying to get to everybody's questions. It's a little tough. North Carolina, the risk for tornadoes. I don't want to say 0, but it's less than 2%. So for today, for North Carolina. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the 500 millibars. This helps you kind of see, in a nutshell, where the trough is ejecting, and it has gives you a better idea of things. So what you can kind of see over here is this low pressure that developed right over in this area, and then it ends up pushing off into this area, and that's what is causing our crazy weather that we're expecting in areas of South Dakota and Nebraska today. It's slightly negatively tilted, but not too bad. I've seen way worse of a negatively tilted trough. So this would suggest that it's moving more of a east northeast. To answer your question there, Jordan. Memphis, Tennessee area, not expecting anything other than the marginal risk. There's less than 2% risk of tornadoes in Memphis, Tennessee area. Thank you very much for the question, Walk Stars. Central Texas, call me boss. Not expecting anything today. However, do expect some things for crazy weather on Sunday for Texas. So stay tuned to that. We may have a full weekend. Arkansas, Little Rock area, not expecting anything severe today. Areas of Arkansas tomorrow could end up getting a marginal risk. Texas 2 fan for life. It's a good idea to take a marginal risk seriously um, because you just never know. I mean, I've seen tornadoes drop in marginal risks. Just stay weather aware. That's the main thing. What is tornado risk Friday for West Tennessee? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that. The western part of Tennessee shows 2%. However, I have a feeling that this is going to kind of push further south and probably have that 5%. As you can see, this is the risk that we're seeing for tornadoes once you get into Friday. All right, I apologize. That's Thursday. Goodness, my days are all mixed up. There we go. We don't have a tornado risk information assessed yet for for Friday, um, for western part of Tennessee. SPC doesn't typically give that out, that information out until they get a little bit closer. Things get a little bit, the models get a little bit more in tune. So here we go. This is the slight risk for your Friday. There's a lot of folks in here that are just joining, so be mindful. We want to kind of stay on one topic for the day because we do these lives every day. You got hit, Juice World 999. You got hit by the Selmer tornado in West Tennessee. I can't take another. Yeah, I don't blame you. Anybody that's gone through a tornado, not good. What about Illinois? So Illinois area, your impact is for tomorrow. As you can see it outlined in the off to the right. You can see enhanced area. Your area tomorrow concern for um, tornadoes as well as into Friday. Tulsa, Oklahoma's impact time. I'm not able to give that information out at this point. It's too far in advance. Uh, I mean, I could give you an estimate, but then it's not going to necessarily, it's going to change. Paducah, Kentucky area. If you're not following, please go ahead and follow. We'll have more updates here tomorrow, as well as um, continued every day, 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time as we get closer. The best thing that I can give you right now is if you are in any of these areas that are outlined in the marginal, which would be the green shaded areas, or the yellow, or the orange. The yellow is the slight risk, so a 2 out of 5. The enhanced is a 3 out of 5. And that enhanced is covering for tomorrow for areas of Wisconsin, Michigan, some of those areas as well. And so if you're in any of those shaded areas over the next 3-day outlook that we have posted there, just stay weather aware. Twin Cities of Minnesota. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining. Karina, I'm in Detroit. Yeah, you guys need to be weather aware for tomorrow. Detroit, Michigan could have some pretty impactful weather Tornadoes are likely or possible, not necessarily likely. Tornadoes are possible, and also big boy hail, significant wind threat for those areas. Not trying to cause reason for concern. Just stay weather aware. Anybody that's in Michigan area, again, you can see the outline to my right for tomorrow, meaning Thursday's outlook. That yellow area does encompass areas of Michigan, Ohio, as well as Wisconsin, a number of areas. Louisville, Kentucky, your concern would be more of a risk late tomorrow into Friday. Kev Min 43, won't capping be strong tomorrow for storms to pop off? Well, I can take a look at the capping. It is possible, but I think there's going to be enough, in my opinion, I think there's going to be enough lifting mechanism there that will allow for it to break that cap and get going. But we are we can definitely make things wrong. We're human. Let's take a look at that here. The significant tornado parameter numbers that we're talking about are still just like that. They are significant. These are significant tornado parameters for May 16th. Okay. When I see numbers that are this high, it gives me a lot of concern. So this is for Friday. Still has the potential in these areas to have widespread outbreak of tornadoes. Tough weather. Yes, I got to work today. Um, I did talk to my boss, and he's going to let me off at 6 o'clock tonight. So, not sure if I'm going to be storm chasing today, but I will probably be covering some stuff in the studio. Grand Rapids, Michigan. We'll take a look at that. Again, this is just one weather model, so just be mindful of that. And the time up top is in Central Daylight Time. So Springfield, Illinois, 1 p.m. sometime. That's showing a very significant number for significant tornado parameters. So around the afternoon time. Areas up here in La Crosse, Rochester area, still significant possibility of some tornadoes for tomorrow. Well, dang, I live in the pink and blue. Yeah, that's not a good idea. I mean, you're definitely going to want to stay weather aware, know where your safe place is, anybody that's in that area here for tomorrow. It's going to be pretty crazy. Continuous coverage is going to be on our YouTube and 605 Chaser Facebook channel tomorrow with live storm chaser. So yeah, these numbers are pretty significant. Southwest Michigan still have some significant tornado parameters. While it's less, it still is there. So I would be concerned about Southwest Michigan as well. St. Louis, nobody. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. St. Louis area. Again, possibility of some tornadoes happening around the St. Louis area, all up along here. This is significant tornado parameters. Let me, since we're getting into the 14th, I want to take a look at HRRR a little bit closer here. Tough weather. Yeah, that's a lot of CAPE. That's a lot of energy. Springfield, Illinois area or Springfield, Missouri. Sorry, I just need you to Claire Weiberg or Weiberg. Could you clarify which one? Page Beaver 1, Green Bay, Wisconsin, stay weather aware. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. Potential for Wisconsin to have a number of isolated tornadoes. And some areas could end up seeing a number of tornadoes. Springfield, Illinois area. We're looking at the significant tornado parameters with the HRRR weather model right now. So let's take a look at that. HRRR is suggesting that, and again, I say the word suggesting because other weather models can say something different. So just be mindful of that. This is suggesting that Effingham, Carbondale, some of the eastern and southeastern portions of Illinois are possible to have some tornado activity, even into southwest portion of Michigan and extreme northeastern portion of Indiana. And that would be for the evening hours of the 15th. Again, kind of scanning that here. That's what it's proposing. St. Cloud area, even a possibility of that happening tomorrow afternoon, but I would suggest that it's probably going to have most of the energy over here in Illinois, Indianapolis, and that area. Let's take a look at the surface base cape, see what the energy level is expected to look like. This is a measurement of how much energy is in the atmosphere. So Springfield, we got over 5,000 joules per kilogram. That's a lot of energy, folks. Melody, you're in the very top. Anybody in Illinois tomorrow, just stay weather aware. There's a lot of risks, including tornado risk for tomorrow in Illinois. I wish I could go dive a little bit deeper, but yes, Michigan's going to see a lot of this tomorrow. Thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at max updraft helicity, if we can get that pulled up here. Max updraft helicity, what is that? That is kind of shows the hail potential and the updraft, hence the word updraft. So there is updraft there, but you need a lot of other things to factor in there. So I'm just going to kind of show Illinois area for the max updraft helicity. As we go out, this weather model only brings it out until about 1 a.m. on the 16th. And that suggests that these areas here, Oshkosh, Appleton, Green Bay area, likely going to see some significant number of tornadoes up in that area of Wisconsin based on that, as well as some major hail. And that would be sometime after 3 p.m., as this model would suggest, after 3 p.m. tomorrow. Updraft helicity doesn't show a whole lot for areas of Illinois, but the significant tornado parameter numbers are still there. These weather models will change frequently, so the main thing that I can give you, the best advice that I could give you is if you're in any of these outlined areas, risks, stay weather aware. Lovely Lacey, Madison, Wisconsin area. And then I gotta let you guys go, but not before I take one other quick look at HRRR for South Dakota area. That's my home state where I'm out of. So take a look at the composite reflective and see what the timing of things might look like for Madison, Wisconsin area. I would say tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon, stay weather aware. Again, this is only one weather model. We're showing you just a one weather model when there is, let's take a look at this. So look at all these different weather model runs. There's all of these. This HRRR goes through an update every hour. And so we're showing you just a glimpse of what the weather models are coming back at. So just be mindful. The things are going to change, and that's why the SPC gives this information out and encompasses these areas where the risks are. Skylar Griffiths, do you know around what time bad weather going to hit Friday? Um, Friday the 16th, I would need to go to a NAM 3K. Oh, it's going through an update, so I can't do that one. I'd have to go to a 2 a.m. update, and just be mindful, this is already outdated and it's already going through another update. So best I can do on the fly here. So the 16th for Skylar, what area were you referring to? Are you referring to Wisconsin? Are you referring to Wisconsin? No, Nashville. Okay, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. All right. So I don't like this weather model isn't doing justice. I'm certain that the areas of Nashville are going to have much more significant weather than what this is showing. So it's going to be really tough to get a grip on that. Let me see if I can find anything else that would help me show this. Supercell composite. They're all going through updates right now. So unfortunately, stay weather aware as best that I can tell you. Yes, night chase is a possibility for us, Jeff. I'm getting off at 6 o'clock tonight, maybe even sooner. I don't know. I'm prepping for a big day tomorrow, and tonight I might be in the studio instead because it might show up so late in South Dakota area. Maybe chasing some lightning. That might be possible. So, Skylar, to answer your question regarding Nashville, stay weather aware. We're going to do some more weather updates throughout the week, but I would say based on the day 3 SPC severe weather outlook that's to the far right, my right, you're in that slight risk. So I would say you're probably going to need to stay completely weather aware. South Carolina, you're in the zone for marginal risk, so 1 out of 5. Stay weather aware. Possibility of some small hail. Can't rule out some wind bags going through there. Jordan Everson. So let's go ahead and take a look at, let's go back to Sioux Falls, South Dakota area and get these timings figured out because we do need to make sure we stay mindful of the severe weather that's being impacted the areas today. All right, we do have a full scan of HRRR, so let's go ahead. 5 p.m. is what the HRRR is showing for Pierre area. This gets major wind as it goes into a MCS. MCS is right here, this line of storms. Lots of wind on the backside of this. If we get all of South Dakota. Thanks so much for the heart. Appreciate it. The Skylar, thank you. Tufts weather. I'm not able to check Ohio. I've got to make sure that I take care of my South Dakota friends. That's where I'm at, and I need to focus on that. That's where the major risk is today, as well as Nebraska. All right, so Aberdeen area. I mean, this is a lot of rain. Goodness. Looks like up in this area would be sometime at 3 o'clock in the morning Central Time. Sioux Falls, not expecting that until sometime after 2 o'clock in the morning. These areas right here, Tyndall, Springfield area, that would likely have quite a bit of hail expected in those areas. How much wind are we expecting with this East River? Let me get I can get the 10-meter wind speed. Oops, 10-meter wind gusts. Let me give you that. I might have to switch over to pivotal information. So, all right. So here's what we're going to kind of show timing of this. The major wind is going to be down here in these areas, but 30, and this is 10-meter wind gusts. So just be mindful. This can obviously change some of those areas that are isolated to have some of those severe thunderstorms. Those are definitely going to possibly see 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds at times. And again, I believe East River is going to have this late into the night, likely. Not expecting East River, South Dakota to have any of this until after 9 p.m. Oh, goodness. Some major wind gusts expected. You know, again, this is 10 meters up, so you have to bring it back down to the surface. I don't have my conversion tool to kind of estimate what that might be, but Wessington Springs, Alpena area, there could be some gusts, 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, likely probably even more than that if those storms do get more impactful. And that would be around the 1 o'clock time frame. And then areas again continuing. It looks like Highway 14 is kind of going to be the area epicenter of some of that risk. We don't want to discard the areas to west of Highway 81, as that does have Olivet and Yankton areas having around 2 o'clock in the morning. You can kind of see a line right here, right? Do you guys see this line? This is where there's going to be a gust front. Whoops, I'm drawing too much. Goodness. This is where there's going to be that gust front going through. Gosh, goodness, it's not letting go. Let me see if I can draw that a little bit better. All right. Right here is where I was trying to show. This is that gust front. Okay. And so what we're going to expect is on the back side of this, once that goes through, those winds are going to push through, and we could end up seeing 70 to 80 mile an hour winds at times. Gusts could be some straight line winds early in the morning. I mean, after midnight time frame for areas of Sioux Falls. So just be mindful, stay weather aware. Should Kankakee, Illinois be worried tomorrow? Don't be worried, Addie. Be weather aware. Thanks for the follow, Limelight. J Mert 56. I hope I answered your question as far as the wind goes. And we're expecting that wind to continue on into tomorrow. Let me show you that right here. Even these areas right here into areas of Winter, South Dakota, Rosebud, Valentine, Nebraska. So this is going to be an extended, the wind threat afterwards is going to be pretty significant as well. As we get into the 15th, lots of wind up there in the northern part, even bigger for tomorrow. So look at that. All this wind for tomorrow. Pretty much going to be kind of crazy for tomorrow for wind. The severe weather for South Dakota will be pretty minimal later in the day for tomorrow, but the wind will still be there. Northern west side Illinois. Your risk for northern west side Illinois, biker lady, is expected to be for tomorrow. And that risk for tomorrow, let me show you the biggest risks. If you're referring to like over in the Burlington area, I'm guessing, you're outside of the tornado risk, so you would have a less than 2% risk. However, be mindful, this is all going to be kind of shifting. So SBC could end up updating this to have that change to where just stay weather aware because the northwestern portion of Illinois is also included in those general thunderstorms and marginal risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow. These areas here in the orangish colored, that includes Wisconsin, Chicago area, all in a enhanced risk for tomorrow. Enhanced risk would be a 3 out of 5 on the scale. Automotion weekend, kind of don't want hail on my truck. Yeah, I don't blame you. Nobody wants hail on their truck unless they're looking to get a claim and get a new one, I guess. Clinton, Iowa area. One second here. As you can see, this view here kind of spins up. So that's kind of what we're expecting to have happen. It's going to kind of take an east-northeast track with this storm over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. All right, I got to go. I'm going to go get me a shake. St. Louis area, your risk is going to be for tomorrow. And that's going to be marginal, and you may end up getting updated into the slight risk, but timing, I'll have more of that for tomorrow. Pikia David. Thanks so much for joining, and I appreciate the follows. I will have more live updates later today. If severe weather should break out, I'm going to try and do some chasing, but I don't know. I think I'm going to probably stay in the weather studio because with the storms being so late in the evening, by the time I get down to Nebraska area, it'd be too late. So I don't want to run that risk again. You guys have a great rest of your day. Again, I do these daily lives. Tomorrow, I probably won't have a daily live update. I'll have severe weather coverage tomorrow for sure. And maybe even tonight I'll have the live severe weather coverage. It might be a long night for me. I'm not going to lie. I might be starting tonight at 7 o'clock tonight and going until the wee hours of the morning and then continuing on. So it might be a 24-hour special, but it's going to be on YouTube and Facebook. I can't do I refuse to do the lives that I have storm chasers on TikTok, and the reason for that is I got banned for 24 hours last time that I had Storm Chasers live on TikTok. It was deemed too risky and too dangerous, so it was against their guidelines. So if you're not following me on Facebook and YouTube, 605 Chaser, please be sure to do so because some content I just can't show on TikTok. So that's the bad part about it. I do these daily live briefings every day when I can, and then those are always, if I don't have live storm chasers on, I always have TikTok included. It's when I have live storm chasers in the field on that I do not stream through TikTok. All right. Hope that helps y'all. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay weather aware, stay safe. And then Sammy 925 Madison area, yeah, you're under the gun for tomorrow. Stay weather aware. Enhanced risk for Wisconsin. Wisconsin, in my opinion, may end up going to a moderate risk or a 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather. So stay weather aware in the afternoon tomorrow. This is going to be